What's up, family? Happy morning. Happy Monday. I'm trying out a new thing. I'm calling it Monday morning motivation or something like that, tentatively. Figured it'd be good for me and anybody who wants to watch me talk about, I don't know, what am I going to talk about today? Well, I guess, yeah, how are we doing? I mean, things are always rough, and there's always a million terrible things to go on, that are going on to pay attention to. But, every time something big happens that consumes the media cycle, there seems to be all sorts of different types of, I guess, narratives popping up, or dialogues popping up, and a lot of adverse, bigoted, just anti-intellectual, all around exhausting things to have to, pay attention to, informationally decipher. Come on, guys. And I don't think that there's anything, I think that it's a good thing. I think we should always be trying to strive to learn, strive to improve ourselves, to feel better, to see what's out there, and expand our horizon, our perspectives. But I think there's like a balance between, I guess I don't know how to say it, but, navigating how to, I guess a good way to put it would be to meet yourself where you're at, instead of trying to, when you're reaching towards something aspirational, of course, try and strive towards your role model or whoever you look up to. But when it comes from somebody who's speaking bigoted or trying to spin a narrative, you don't have to reach outside of yourself to try and clarify their perspective, because that just leaves you feeling like that's where the term energy vampires come from. It's not necessarily, the same thing, because it's, energy vampires are a little less, I don't know. Energy vampires can be politicians. I guess the term normally comes from like personal relationships, but politicians can be energy vampires too. So I don't know. I guess my point is, for an example, the conversation is tired at this point, but you see, I'm preaching to the choir. The video game thing that came up, video games are poisoning the minds and stuff, and well, I think that there is definitely something to be said about games like Call of Duty and the like. It's a fact that the United States military oversees how the stories of those games are created and chooses what it can and cannot be shown. And if you want to go into the propaganda route of all of that type of stuff, I think there's something to be said. But in terms of like actually looking at the real issues of what's causing gun violence, I think we have a group of people who are very conditionally, they're set on making it so that we aren't able to connect with each other, ourselves, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, when you see a story on Twitter or wherever it is that you're scrolling, and it can be, any random person, it doesn't have to be a politician, you kind of elevating those types of narratives, And again, the video game one isn't such a great one because it's a tired conversation. There are new malicious narratives being spun every day. We have the richest person on the planet telling us that we should go to war with each other. That makes a lot of sense. At the same time as saying video games are, it's just a whole lot of circusry. So what I try to do, it's a practice, is in these times or whatever, in these situations, you don't need to you don't need to try to change anybody's perspective by reaching yourself into a dialogue or a conversation or anything that's gonna make you feel like you're putting your energy in. I'm trying to think of fancy words. In danger, you don't want to be feeling bad. So through your days, so another example, this is trigger warning, but you see people on the news talking about how we should be involuntarily giving homeless people lethal injections. That's how we should deal with the houselessness problem in our country. Not, the fact that there are more empty houses and empty storefronts than there are homeless people. Not the fact that we throw away more food every day than we could sell to give to people. So that's just it's not even a real conversation. And the fact that it's being put on news stations is blasphemy. But it's not our job to go and argue with the people who do, somehow believe these things. It's not our job to quote tweet and, counter argue against something that makes no sense in the first place. I think a better way for that specific, I guess, this more impacts me because it's my world, but with the animals, there are lots of programs around the country where if, there's a domestic situation, somebody falls on hard times, something happens where a person needs to, leave their residence quickly or falls on hard times and they have an animal, we have programs around the country where instead of having to surrender their animal or, put both of them in harm's way, you're able to work with the programs while you're getting back on your feet. You can stay with your animal in some places. They have beds and shelters that are pet friendly. I mean, it's bringing the awareness, it's bringing the compassion, bringing the empathy back. So instead of going online and arguing about, why we shouldn't kill people, let's, advocate for things that we do believe in, things that are going to make us happy and make the world a better place. I'm serious. Z-moves are real. Dance. Post a video of yourself doing something silly. Just breathe. We have way more people on this planet doing lovely, beautiful things every day than doing hurtful, manipulative, destructive things every day. So focus your energy on that. Let's make it another wonderful week. I am going to try and bring back my Sunday night movies. That was the other reason I wanted to make this, was so I could announce that. I used to watch movies on Twitch and review them on Letterboxd. I said that I wanted to do that for Waking Life and Is the Man Who Is Tall Happy. I have been procrastinating it because I'm trying to treat it like an actual academic project, but we'll see how it actually turns out. But yeah, I want to, this Sunday, hopefully, stream movie, Shiny Hunting. Have a good day. We'll see you soon.